You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports, we connect the dots so you know the actions you can take how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof of your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. National Coloring Book Day. Interesting. Do the kids even play with coloring books anymore? Okay, Josh tells me they do. I'm old. I don't know. So, I watch my grandson. It's iPad. He's a little over 2 years old. Love the iPad. Don't see the coloring books chalk. My wife bought him chalk to play with outside. He likes that. Okay, and having beaten anorexia, today's also National Ice Cream Sandwich Day. Now, that's one I can get behind. Ice cream sandwiches. I shouldn't say used to. I still really like ice cream sandwiches. Just throw that out there. Anybody that wants, it's kind of hot right now. You're not going to go too far with an ice cream sandwich. We just I do some magic, though. Josh, you're in Vegas there. This is my magic trick. I make ice cream sandwiches disappear. I can do it really, really well. Just throw that out there. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 264 points. S&P 500 is down 63 points. NASDAQ down 342. Ooh, 347 now. Oil's down 208 a barrel. And the 10-year Treasury's up 4.09. Why? It's all got to do with the news right now. No, I'm not going to. Well, I will talk. I'll give you my opinion on the latest ruse. It's amazing. This prosecutor, what's his name? Jack Smith. I think that's the guy's name. He's a genius. I didn't realize this guy's as smart as he is. He's able to understand what other people think. Because if you look at the indictments that he threw out yesterday, or he brought up yesterday, or whatever he wants to call them, he's basically telling us what the former president was thinking. There was no other charges in there other than he felt that he was wronged. And it seems like he still feels like the election was stolen. But according to Mr. Smith, no, he knows that it wasn't because some of his advisors told him that, and some of his advisors told him the exact opposite. So Mr. Smith knows which way Mr. Trump was thinking. Fascinates me. But, again, now, especially here in California, the media won't tell you this. Did anybody notice what happened yesterday? So early in the day, you get the messaging, you get the Hunter Biden, his business partner, goes into Congress and is chatting with the committees. And then later in the day, you get the indictments. Does it surprise anybody that this happens every single time with the special counsels?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
It doesn't surprise me at all. So what's taking over in the news situations? What's taking over in these issues? Well, depends on where you are. And I'm here in Southern California. I don't know what you're seeing there in Nevada, Josh. I don't know what you're seeing around the country. But in California, it's all about how we can get at Trump. Yeah, some of the other states, maybe it's a little more fair and balanced. I don't know, but we'll have to see. We're going to watch that. Why is the market, though, taking a nosedive? Well, it's got to do with a lot of things going on, but there's a biggie is the U.S. debt was downgraded by Fitch. So basically they're saying instead of debt with the U.S. being a AAA rating, AA plus, still a good rating, but not as good as it was. And generally that has an effect to increase the cost of financing that debt. So basically Fitch is saying, hey, you know something? Too much debt from the United States. If they don't do something about it, we're looking at some problems. That's basically what this boils down to. Now, Moody's did do this as well during the Obama administration. And I know the president's out there telling everybody how he cut the debt. No, he actually let some spending issues expire on the deficit for that particular year. So it's not that he cut the debt at all. The debt is still out of control. And that's what Fitch is telling us right now. And we're seeing that. Now, what is all of this going to mean? How does this going to filter down to you and me? Well, nobody's saying this yet, but I will. We're watching and seeing how frequently the markets are saying that housing is doing real well. And yes, housing is doing well. But what is the correlation to that? Sales are not good. The sales numbers are down because there's no inventory to sell. Interest rates are going up. They're up again this morning. And a lot of people are saying, well, the Federal Reserve is going to hold steady. Well, what has the Federal Reserve been telling us? Let's listen to what they've had to say. The Federal Reserve has been saying that they're worried about inflation. 70% of GDP is consumer. 43% of GDP has to do with shelter costs. With CPI has to do with 43% of CPI is shelter costs. CPI and PCE is what the Federal Reserve looks at to figure out where our inflation is going. Now, in 2021, the Federal Reserve was, well, we know about the Federal Reserve. Yeah.
Such an idiot.
So the Federal Reserve wasn't watching what was happening in the future. The Federal Reserve was looking and saying, okay, well, our inflation, yeah, it's going up and it's transitory. Well, now we're going to start seeing inflation coming down because there's a tremendous lag in when the shelter costs hit the PCE and the CPI reports. There's a lag there. So right now what's hitting the inflation reports is what happened 6 months ago. Well, 6 months ago, shelters was not going up. It was just at the point of just turning that corner. Well, right now we're seeing that shelter costs are going up. That's going to hit the reports in 6 months. That means our inflation numbers 6 months from now are not going to be pretty. What's that mean for housing? What's that mean for interest rates? We'll talk about it when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. How to know if you're ready to buy a home. We'll talk about that. What college-bound students should know about credit cards. Paying off a car loan early, does it affect your credit score? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. Good morning, Joe Ingram. Glad to see you tuning in with us. Good friend of mine, good friend of the show. So before the break, we're chatting a little bit about what's going on in the mortgage world and what's going on in the markets right now. So let's take a look every day at this time. OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. Clean sweep yesterday. Every one of the numbers are in the green. Now, when we look at these numbers, we much prefer golf. Like, we want the red numbers, not the green numbers. 30-year conforming up 6.928, 30-year jumbo up 7.142, 30-year FHA up 6.828, 30-year USDA up 6.87, and the best loan on the market, thankfully it was up the smallest, I think, of all the numbers. The 30-year VA loan, got to earn this one, 6.646. Why? Well, let's take a look and see what's going on today. Those are all the numbers from yesterday. Remember, again, that OBMMI does not tell us about the APR. They don't tell us points paid or points received. Today, we're seeing the 10-year Treasury is up 5 basis points. The mortgage-backed securities are down 27 basis points. Hard to say this, but at 27 basis points down, that is an improvement from the lows of the day. We were down significantly more than that earlier in the session. We were at 98.24, so we were down about 35 basis points more than that earlier in the session. Why is all of this happening? What's driving the markets? What's driving the numbers? Well, obviously, I told you earlier about the downgrade from Fitch. They're a bond rating service. So when we keep going into debt the way we are in the federal level, the national debt, sorry, Mr. President, yes, it's growing dramatically. So as that continues to happen, more bonds have to be issued to pay that debt because we keep raising taxes, which lowers the amount of revenue going into the government. More you increase the taxes, more you increase the regulation, which slows down the economy, the lower the amount of revenue that comes in. So, yeah, you can get fast nickels or slow dimes. The president and the administration prefers going with the slow dimes, and that's what's happening right now. So we also got ADP. They came out with their private sector employment numbers for July, showing that there were 324,000 jobs created, higher than the roughly 190,000 expected. There was a negative revision to the monster 497,000 in June, which was lowered by 42,000 to 455,000. Still a very large number. The BLS said there were only 149,000 private sector jobs gains in June, or 1/3 of the gains. So there's clearly a big disconnect between ADP and BLS. Goods sector added 21,000 jobs, led by natural resources and mining, but construction was pretty flat, and manufacturing lost 36,000 jobs, has been showing job losses for several months. Service sector added 303,000 jobs, led by leisure and hospitality, which added 201,000 after adding 232,000 in June, compared with only 21,000 jobs in that area in the BLS report. Who's right? Also, for the second month in a row, ADP said leisure and hospitality drove job gains with a rise of 201,000, following 232 in June. In comparison, BLS said there was 21,000. ADP also reported that annual pay for job stayers increased by 6.2% year over year, down from 6.4% in the previous report. Job changers saw an average increase of 10.2%, down from 11.2%. While these figures are still high, they've been moderating and showing lower wage pressure inflation. Wages have moderated for 13 months in a row and have cooled considerably from their levels of 8% on stayers and 16% on switchers last year. Bottom line, big disconnect. Why do we have so many people getting new jobs, yet we're not getting an increase in wages as big? Why is the wage increase is not going up? It shouldn't happen that way. Job openings and labor transition, that's the JOLTS report, fell a touch from May to 959.58 million from 9.62 million in the previous report, which is the lowest since April 2021. This number is likely overstated. Still, with work from anywhere and multiple job listings for one job in different states, hirings fell by a sharp 326,000, and the hiring rate fell to 3.8% from 4%, and that matches the lowest since January 2018, not including COVID. Job openings for leisure and hospitality fell by 81,000 to 1.22 million, the least since March 2021. There is a clear trend of less openings, which should eventually lead to weaker job creations. ISM manufacturing report. July, 46.4 versus 46 in June, or 0.5 points below expectations, which is the weakest level since mid-2009, again, not including COVID. Employment notably fell 3.7 points to 44.4, lowest since May. Slowdown in hiring with attrition, freezes, and layoffs actively in place, as noted by many panelists that we've been listening to. Consistent with the drop in manufacturing jobs in the ADP report, still showing weakness in the economy in a lot of areas. A lot of folks are not believing that, but it is what it is, and there's no way you can detract from that. The numbers will eventually flow through all of these unless the government changes the benchmarks again. But the government we're still going to start seeing some of these things. They're going to still happen. And the issue is, when are we going to see the numbers coming through in a bigger way? Again, yesterday we saw CVS lay off 5,000 people. Yellow, the trucking company, laid off 30,000 people. Big business is laying off people. And according to ADP, it's the small business sector, which is the area where we're actually seeing some of this job growth. So we're watching all of these numbers for you. Let's see what else we had in that ADP report. I know there was a couple other things in there. And again, the small businesses, they're the ones with under 50 employees. They're still holding on. They're still showing us a little bit of job numbers. But again, you got to wonder, why is there such a big disparity between leisure and hospitality of 232,000 jobs gained on the ADP report and 21 from the BLS report? You might have to look at how the numbers are derived. BLS, which comes out on Friday, the household survey, which comes out on Friday, those are both modeled. They're not done from as much real data. ADP does, and they also use seasonal adjustments. So, and ADP actually uses their payroll of 25 million people. Small businesses, that's with less than 50 people. Again, 327,000 jobs gained. Businesses with over 500 people, 67,000 jobs lost. Now, maybe that when you use the modeling from the BLS report and from the household survey, maybe they just don't track the numbers as well as ADP would for small businesses. How are they getting their data into the small business area? That's what we look at to check on where those numbers are coming from. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. Again, make sure if you want updated data every morning, we send out a report, rsrmarketminute.com. rsrmarketminute.com. We send that out every morning. Depends on how late the data comes out as to when we get the report out. We try to get it out by 7 a.m. California time. Doesn't always happen that way, but we do try and put that out. If you want to get it first thing, emails go out first, rsrmarketminute.com. We do post that on our social channels a little later in the morning. Again, the emails go out first. So let's take a look. If you want to see about trying to help some of your scores, trying to help some of the things that are going on, make sure you're getting on our list. Again, rsrccpayment.com. We did this report last week. We've done this many, many times, sharing this information with you. A lot of folks are still paying their credit card bills the wrong way. Do I have to harp on this all the time? Maybe harp is not the right word. Evangelize, right? I'm going to keep giving this to you until I don't get the calls. rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. Pay your credit card bills the right way. Also, I'm getting a lot of phone calls. We're doing a lot of consultations where I'm hearing people that are contemplating selling property. And why are they selling property? Or what is their issue? Well, death in the family, and they're having to wait to go through probate. Why? Why are you going through probate? I've been trying to share this with you. You should know.
You know better than that.
Yeah, you know better than that. Make sure you have a trust. You can't tell me it's too expensive. We've got people that'll help our listeners from $1,200 or $1,300 all the way on up, depending upon the complexity of your situation. Get that trust done. Just had a consultation last week. Families paying $20,000 to the attorney, $20,000 to the state because a relative died without having their trust done and funded properly. $40,000 could have been saved, could have saved all that headache. Again, just got to make that call, 800-306-1990, 1990. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, how to know if you're ready to buy a home. We'll talk about it. What college-bound students should know about credit cards. Paying off a car loan early. Does it affect your credit score? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. How to know if you're ready to buy a home. If you're trying to decide if you're ready to buy a home, there's probably a lot on your mind. You're thinking about your finances, today's mortgage rates and home prices, the limited supply of homes for sale, and more. And you're juggling how all those things will impact the choice you'll make. While housing market conditions are definitely a factor in your decision, your own life and your finances may be even more important. As an article from NerdWallet says, quote, housing market trends give important context, But whether this is a good time to buy a house also depends on your financial situation, life goals, and readiness to become a homeowner, unquote. Instead of trying to find the market, instead of trying to time the market, it may help to focus on what you can control. Here are a few questions that can give you clarity on whether you're ready to make your move. 1, do you have a stable job? One thing to consider is how stable you feel your employment is. Buying a home is a big purchase, and you're going to sign a home loan stating you're going to pay that loan back. That can feel like a big obligation. Knowing you have a reliable job and income coming in can help put your mind at ease. As NerdWallet explains, quote, a mortgage is a big commitment. Wait until your employment is stable before thinking about buying a house, unquote. Number 2, have you figured out what you can afford? To make sure you have a good idea what you'll need to save and what you can expect to spend on your monthly payment, talk to a trusted lender. They'll be able to tell you about the pre-approval process and what you can borrow, current mortgage rates, and approximate monthly payments, closing costs to anticipate, and what percentage of the purchase price of the home you'll need for a down payment and more. The best part is you may find out you're closer to your goals than you realized. You don't necessarily need to put 20% down unless it's specified by your lender or loan type. As Down Payment Resources says, quote, a 20% down payment on a home is great, but many mortgages require no more than 3 to 5% of the purchase price as a down payment. Plus, there are loans that grants that may help cover these costs. Search for down payment assistance in your area and discuss your results with your mortgage lender, unquote. Number 3, how long do you plan to live there? Another important thing to think about is how long you plan to stay put. It takes time to build equity in your home, though, through paying down your loan and home price appreciation. If you plan to move too soon, you may not recoup your investment. For example, if you're looking to sell and move again in a year, it might not make sense to buy right now. As a recent article from CNET says, quote, buying a home is a good idea if you're planning to stay put for at least 3 years. Home values typically increase between 2 and 5% annually, so you could end up paying more in closing costs than you'd earn in proceeds if you sell after only a year or 2, unquote. Think about your future. If you plan to transfer to a new city with the upcoming promotion you're working toward, or you anticipate your loved ones will need you to move closer to take care of them, that's something to factor in. Above all else, the most important question to answer is, do you have a team of real estate professionals in place? If not, finding a trusted local agent and lender is a good step. Give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And don't forget, get yourself set up on rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Monitor your credit scores. Monitor your bank accounts, asset accounts. Monitor the value of your home. If you already own one, you can monitor that right there as well. And you also have access to 97% of the properties that are listed in the MLS, 97% of them. So rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. So let's continue our discussion a little bit about what's going to happen in what we're forecasting, what we're projecting into the future. And we're going to give you all kinds of resources for this. We have them all the time. Number one, during our breaks, you're seeing, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you actually see a monthly market update that we actually share all the time. And that just kind of plays through our commercial breaks. If you ever want to see more of that, give us a call at 800-306-1990. Happy to send that to you. We also put out our quarterly home buyer and home sellers guides. Those are available to you, no cost to you. rsrhbg.com, rsrhbg.com. That's our home buyer's guide. And again, it's about a 20, 25-page booklet. We put that out again every single quarter. rsrhbg.com is the buyer's guide. rsrhsg.com. That's our home seller's guide. Again, we put that out every single quarter. Now, if you're thinking of selling your house, you want to be looking at the guide, But my guess is you want to maximize the sales price of that property as well. So go and watch the free video that we put together, the free workshop, rsrsalesmax.com. rsrsalesmax.com. We go through three different ways to maximize the sales price of your property. Yes, our friend Simon Polito, he does the non-distress luxury auctions. That's the first way. We've talked to you about the payment assistance plan that comes along with our appraisal gap program. So we're going to raise the price of the property, help bring down the interest rate, bring down the payments. And if it doesn't appraise, we've got the appraisal gap to help you with that one. So those are all there. Third one, and it's just logic. It's common sense. I hear about so many people that say, I want to pay the lowest commissions possible. Well, that's because nobody's explained to you what that really means. When you go to these cut rate realtors or flat rate, flat price, I'm going to do it all for $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever. Well, do you think they're as motivated as somebody that makes more money? What if we go to the other side of that coin? What if we pay the buyer's agents more money? Don't you think that, have you ever seen what happens on Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving, when the retail stores will drop their prices on a lot of things? You get a frenzy, right? Because what they've done is they've created an incentive for you to shop on that day. Well, when you go to our process where we do a 4% commission to the buyer's agent, well, that's going to create that same frenzy. You're getting all kinds of agents trying to get that 4%. They want that commission. They want to help their family. So they're going to look in their database and say, which of my buyers would this be appropriate for? I'm not saying that they're trying to manipulate people or connive people. I'm just saying they're going to work harder to find the right buyer, the right contact they have, because they want to make more money. When you get a property into a bidding war, you end up getting more people there, more people seeing the property, and you end up getting more money for the property. That's why it's one of the tools that we use, rsrsalesmax.com, rsrsalesmax.com. So get the buyer's guide and then watch RSR Sales Max, the workshop, and we show you these ways. Now, 2 of the 3 ways in there, if you do not do it properly, if you don't do it, following all the rules and guidelines and the specifics, you can end up shooting yourself in the foot. That's why I highly recommend give us a call at 800-306-1990 and have a conversation, have a consultation with one of the preferred real estate partners with Ron Siegel Radio. I have them in everywhere where you're listening. Anywhere you are, we know real estate professionals in that area that can then follow the guidelines of what we've shared and understand the intricacies. For example, when you go through the payment assistance plan, if you don't write up the contract the right way, one of the very, very last things that happens during that process is a compliance check. And if it's not written the right way, this could trigger high cost and predatory lending violations. So we want to make sure it's done the right way so that does not happen. We don't break the law on anything we do. What we do is we use the guidelines to the best of our ability and maximize that. So we understand those. We understand where to put this in the contract so it doesn't pose a problem. Just throwing that out there for you. Want to make sure that you're getting these things, you're getting them the right way. And again, if you're going to buy a house, don't miss our process of paying the bill the right way, rsrccpayment.com. Why do I say that? Why am I so passionate about that one? Because I get people even who are paying their bill in full, right after they get the bill, they're still paying it the wrong way. And we don't want that. We want to make sure you pay your bill the right way. You need to go online. You need to check and see what your balance is about a week before the payment due date. Send the money in. Make a payment before the payment due date. So you want to be the statement due date, one payment before that, one payment before the payment due date. That's going to get you the best FICO scores possible because it deals with your utilization. I'm not going to go into it all right now because we're about out of time here. But I want to make sure you see that. rsrccpayment.com. We did a full workshop on it. rsrccpayment.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, what college-bound students should know about credit cards, and how about paying off your car early? We're going to talk about both of those. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com. Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it's wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions. What college-bound students should know about credit cards. As college-bound students prepare to head to campus, many will soon start considering their first credit card. Credit cards are widely accepted and more convenient than carrying cash. Students can even use their phone's digital wallet instead of carrying a physical credit card. Credit cards are helpful for emergencies like needing to have a car towed. Plus, they're a good way for students to start building credit, which will eventually be beneficial for renting an apartment or buying a car. While there are plenty of good reasons for college-bound students to get a credit card, there are some important things to know first. You'll need your own income or a cosigner to get one. If you're a college student under age 21, there are certain requirements you need to meet to get a credit card. You have to show that you can repay what you spend, either through your own income or assets. Otherwise, you can apply for a credit card with a cosigner who is over 21. Another option is to request being added as an authorized user on a parent or family member's credit card. As an authorized user, you can make purchases, but you won't be able to make changes to the account itself. What you spend has to be paid back. When you use a credit card, you're not just making a purchase, you're actually borrowing money. The bank allows you to buy things now, pay back the money later, as long as you make a minimum monthly payment. It's important to spend responsibly so you can afford these payments. Like any other loan, the longer it takes to repay what you owe, the more interest you'll pay. You can avoid interest completely by paying your full balance each month before the statement closing date. There's a limit to what you can buy. Credit cards have a maximum limit on what you can spend, known as your credit limit. This is the highest amount you can owe on your card at any given time. For example, if your credit limit is $300, you can't have a balance over that amount. You can increase the balance available for future purchases by paying off your balance. You can handle your spending and payments responsibly. Your credit card issuer may raise your credit limit. How you use your credit card affects your future. Credit cards play a significant role in building your credit history. When you use a credit card, your account activity is typically reported to at least one of the major credit bureaus on a monthly basis. The credit bureaus keep track of your credit history, which is then used to calculate your FICO scores. FICO scores will play a role when you apply for future credit cards or loans. It helps credit card issuers and lenders determine whether to approve your application. Due dates are serious. Similar to how you can lose points for turning in your school assignments late, making your payment after the due date can result in extra fees. These penalties for late payments get more severe the longer you wait. Once you're 30 days late, the late payment is recorded on your credit report. If you reach 60 days late, your interest rate will go up to the maximum allowed rate. Finally, if you're 180 days late, you'll lose the account and the option to make minimum monthly payments. Thieves want your credit card information. If your credit card or account information is stolen, thieves can make purchases on your account. Fortunately, you typically won't be responsible for authorized purchases. Most credit card issuers have zero fraud liability. However, you have to track and report fraud to your credit card issuers to get it corrected. Keep your credit card safe and only use trusted websites when you're shopping online. Rewards are nice, but not worth the debt. Having a credit card that offers rewards gives you the opportunity to earn cash or points on all your purchases. You can use your rewards for cool things like gift cards, plane tickets, or even to reduce your balance. It's important to avoid overspending just to accumulate more rewards. No reward is worth falling into debt or having to pay interest. Bottom line, responsibility pays off. Make the timely payments, keep the low balance are two of the most important habits for college-bound students to build. It may be tempting to open several credit cards or for more available credit, but taking on too much credit at once can be dangerous. Stick to just one credit card to start. That way you have a chance to establish responsible credit habits that will pay off in the long run. That's Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer and our friends over at Blue Water Credit can help you out with that. And again, don't forget rsrccpayment.com. Pay the credit cards the right way. And it gives you some tips and tricks in there as well. Speaking of tips and tricks, let's see if I can find the reports. There's a couple others. rsrcreditmistakes.com, rsrcreditmistakes.com, and rsrcredittips.com. Both good sites for you to get additional information. And I think we have time. I think we get in one more Your Credit Matters segment. I think it's a small one here. Your Credit, maybe it's not. Your Credit Matters brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it is wrong. Paying off a car loan early, does it affect your credit score? Many or all of the products that we talk about are beneficial to you. Credit Sanitizer, help you big time. Our friends at Blue Water Credit, we've arranged for them to give you a free consultation. Paying off your car loan can lower your credit score, but the effects are usually temporary. Are you thinking about paying off your car loan early, whether to free up your budget or have the satisfaction of one less monthly bill? Many consumers expect doing so will boost their credit score. Surprisingly, the opposite can occur. Paying off a car loan early can cause a dip in your credit score. Fortunately, the impact is usually short-term and may not happen to every customer. This is because other factors and variables can affect your overall credit score. While paying off debt is a good strategy for improving your credit, doing so for a car loan doesn't necessarily work the same way. We're going to give you the reasons. Why do credit scores drop after paying off car loans? Paying off debt is indeed a strategy to build credit, so it makes sense that some people would think it's the right move for car loans. Anytime your credit history changes, such as information updates or newly opened closed accounts, your credit score can change. In the case of paying off your car loan early, it will equate to closing an account. One less account shifts your credit utilization and your credit history age. These changes may lower your credit score depending on a range of factors. It can be disappointing to see your score drop if you've worked hard to establish good credit, especially if you're balancing between the poor and fair credit threshold. In the next part, we're going to explain how car loans affect credit utilization and other variables. Car loans impact your credit score. Before choosing any type of loan, it's important to know how credit scoring works. Your credit score takes several factors into consideration, such as making payments on time, how long you've been doing so. Credit bureaus monitor and compute this data using the following weighted system. History of payments, 35%. Credit utilization, 30%. Credit history, 15%. Types of credit, 10%. That'd be mortgages, installment loans like cars, credit cards is another one. Number of hard inquiries, 10%. Listen to me on that one, 10%, one of the smallest items on there. There are certain situations where keeping debt is beneficial. For example, having a mix of open and active accounts with a strong history of on-time payments is good for your credit score. It also shows creditors you're responsible with loans should you apply for another in the future. So let's talk about prepayment penalties. Prepayment penalties are fees you'll owe if you pay off your car loan before the term ends. Some lenders include these types of penalties if the car loan as a way to still earn interest if the client decided to pay it off early. Prepayment penalties will account for a percentage of the car loan amount, which could cost you more than you paid in interest. Make sure you check the loan agreement for any prepayment penalties beforehand. Should you decide to pay off the car loan early, you got to know what to expect. What's it going to do to your emergency funds? If you pay off your car early, are you doing it out of emergency funds? Be careful of that. You want to make sure you keep some good stash of emergency funds. Making timely payments on a low interest rate car loan is less expensive than those with high rates or an outstanding credit card balance. So maybe you want to be paying off the credit cards before you pay off the car. When it makes sense to pay off the car loan early, sometimes the trade-off of a temporary credit hit is a long-term benefit. For example, if you plan on selling the car, paying off the balance to have the vehicle title beforehand can make the process easier. Here are other scenarios when paying off your car loan early is typically a good decision. To save money, to lower your debt-to-income ratio, to avoid high interest rates. The big one there is the debt-to-income ratio, because the car loan could be holding you back from buying that new house because of your debt to income ratio. You got to always be watching that part of it. And we want to make sure that you're in line. Now, getting that payment down to below 9 payments, that might be beneficial as long as it's not a lease. So there's a lot of different variables in there. Again, talk to our friends at Blue Water Credit, or you can talk to some of our team and give you some coaching on this as well. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.